Good morning. How are you? I hope you can hear me. I'm sitting outside and there's noise. It's garbage day. So the truck driving around. School started again. I don't have little kids in school, but it always marks or any kids in school for that matter. But it marks the turning of the season. It's a new I don't have much summer left. This weekend, our lows are somewhere around 42 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm pretty sure is 6 degrees Celsius. It's gonna warm up a little bit again, but I've got, a month of whatever's left of growing season, right? I just thought I'd come out and have a little chat. I have some things I need to get done. I'd really like to get done. I have this scrappy corner over here next to the shed. There's a canoe and a whole bunch of stuff, Take my compost bin down. I have one left. I had two. I had to take them down. The HOA rules. When did they decide that? This year, last year? I'm not sure, but so I took one down right away and then I just let it sit there. And now I basically have a pile of soil that I can move around. But I could use the space for something else if I'm not going to compost there, so. I'm gonna lay some old ugly pavers I have back down and, move the canoe over there. Sorry, I'm looking in that direction and thinking about it. And then I'm thinking to myself, and then what? If I don't get to post videos of my green anymore. The snow is gonna come in. I'll think of something. Coincidentally, 40 below Fahrenheit is also 40 below Celsius. And I know that because it gets to 40 below where I'm at. Long, dark nights, days, The sun doesn't come up until about 8 or 9 in the morning and it goes down around 4 in the afternoon. It's all right. I'll think of something. Maybe make some stuff. I don't know. Man, it's August 22nd today, Friday. And yeah. I feel like I don't know. We're stuck in a holding pattern for the worst, I think. I know. What? Yeah. Why am I here? What am I doing, right? I don't know. I've had a YouTube whatever since it about came out. Not a channel. I didn't use it to publish videos. I used it for other things. In my working life, once upon a time, I worked at a job, with a degree, And now I don't do that anymore. Why am I saying that? Oh, YouTube, yeah. And then, I don't know, I only ever really used it as like a music playlist, you know, or a how-to tutorial. You know, so there's a guy mowing lawn way out back in a big riding tractor, so it's kind of noisy. If he comes by, I apologize. Oh, and I keep shaking my knees, and my camera's on the table, and it starts to shake, you know. Anyway, you got that, you know, where your foot's always bouncing? Oh, YouTube, right? So how-tos, walkthroughs, you know, how to sew a hem, I don't know, but, you know, just stuff. How to change a carburetor, stuff like that. And then this last summer, I had 2 subscribers. That's all I'll say about that. And then I posted a few things, and next thing I knew, I had 6. And oh, look at that, you know, how that works. And I caught this video, actually this past summer. There were a lot of videos sort of started popping up into my feed about people get up and make a channel, come on YouTube and start telling your story for some reason, or your stories, or your whatever you have, your knowledge, your wisdom. Fun fact, I think everybody's just bumbling around in the dark. Even the most wise, they would be the first ones to admit that's what's happening. So anyway, this person younger than myself had posted a video about people of my generation. She was encouraging people of my generation to come out on YouTube and tell your story and, I don't know, make friends, earn a living or something. I'm not here for the money. I still, to this day, I'm curious why I feel compelled to post on YouTube. I don't know. And I think about all the other, those videos. You know, there was this woman who was driving DoorDash, and she blew up, and I didn't know about that until these other people popped into my feed, and they were all talking about her. And so, anyway, this one young woman in particular, you know, was encouraging people to come out. There was more than one, but this one that stuck with me is what I should say. I don't know, but I really chewed on that for a while. I thought, why? I mean, is it a pyramid scheme? Are people getting paid by YouTube? Is it behavior modification? You know, like advertising always is. It just wants you to change your habits and form new ones and buy their shit. So, you know, is YouTube hard up for content? Is it looking to train its AI models? What does it want? And then I decided I don't care, because life's too short, and I don't know. Whatever, any of those reasons, that's fine. They can go do that. But I'm gonna come out and give it a go. And then after the autumn of last year, I changed my mind. And then over Christmas, I thought about these 6 subscribers. Just these random 6 people. What are they doing? Are they okay? Maybe they didn't mind my nice little quiet corner, or nice, I should say. You know, it's just me mostly over here, doing stuff and things, you know? Okay. So okay. I'm gonna start working on my garden, and I'll share that, you know. And that turned into 22, and then it turned into 36. And It doesn't matter. It could be 2 people, and I would still, I think, I've made up my mind, you know. I'm the type, too, that usually when I make up my mind to do something, that's the end of it. Except for the smoking business. One of these days. Yeah, if you didn't know. So, I quit smoking earlier this spring. And then I discovered it was the wrong timeline to quit smoking. So... Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, aren't I? I'm really glad you're here. Whoever you are, even if you don't subscribe in this video, just happen to fall into your feed, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I will say, it doesn't matter how small. Comments and live streams, there's one in particular that stood out. A person had asked, not my live stream, I was just in the room, how do you get over being nervous and post videos? You don't. I'm nervous all the time. My heart rate is running. I'm very self-conscious about my appearance because I have eyeballs and I know what I look like. So that's, But you know what? It's helpful. Honestly, it's getting me, I don't know, participating in the world again in a way I don't usually have any interest in. Except there's people. Good people who are doing good things. And they follow me. And I like that. I mean, just that you're here in the room, I guess, that's kind of fun. I don't know. And sometimes it doesn't even matter if nobody ever saw the video at all. I didn't post it for anyone else. That was for me. That was for me. I decided if I'm going to somehow catalog the whole thing, then, I'm not really cataloging the whole thing. My problem is that's not really a problem. This younger woman that I mentioned who had talked about my generation coming out, she had said, people want to hear your stories, or, I don't want to tell my stories. Not to YouTube. I'd write it down and then publish it, and then people can pay me for that. But beyond that, no, but this part, it's helpful. I don't know, if you're a person who doesn't really engage in the world and, you don't really know how to get back out there. Okay, I'll let you know in on one very personal thing about myself is that I don't like talking about it, but I've been an agoraphobic since about 2016 is when I bailed, no longer participate in the workforce, and then I stopped participating altogether. But that is not my nature. It's not. That was new. It was a new, unfamiliar. Anyway, so I've been trying to fight against that since about then. It was, the spring of 2019. I think it was March. I got all excited. Went up to Walmart to buy some garden seeds and a little dinky planter. That's it, I'm going out. and I left the house. And then the whole world got locked down. Set me back. Not really. I was actually pretty comfortable with it. I mean, most people don't spend their days and nights in... what is this? 100 square feet? You know? I'm lucky. There are people who are shut-ins who only have their house, and although that's probably enough sometimes for most people that experience agoraphobia, I at least have my yard, and that has made all the difference. It's made all the difference. It makes me stronger in mind and body. It really does. I cannot stress this enough, and it seems just really stupid, cheeky, to tell someone if they're stuck, you're going through a hard time, you're depressed, anxious, grow something. I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't a gardener, per se. Not like that. Not like this. I didn't grow shit like this. That's new. I mean, this one's like 4 or 5 years old now, but, I just set about figuring it out. Well, that's the other thing. If you're fighting with stuff and things, get curious. And it might be really difficult too, especially if you're in a deep depressive state. I know it's hard to get curious about stuff, but I'm telling you, it's the key to a lot of things. I got curious about growing stuff, and so I went looking for information. And it, if anything, it changes the channel in your head for a minute, right? Like, you're not ruminating on this thing or that thing or the woulda, coulda, shoulda, or the how come, why not, or who cares? How come I have blight? Let's start with an easier. This is the first year I've ever had tomato blight in my garden. Usually it's too dry up here. We have very humid days, but not enough rain. And I've seen it once in my life, but not in my garden. It was at an RV was parked at a campground, and it was very wooded, heavily wooded, and their little potted tomato plant sitting outside their steps looked really sad. And I was like, what on earth is wrong with that tomato plant? I know now. I had to cut one down this year, which is fine. It's pretty overgrown, my place at the moment. It's getting really scraggly. See? But my attention travels away from whatever it is. And the healing that needs to take place happens quietly, all by itself. It's funny how that works. I get out now, not much. I don't usually go places by myself, but I'm fortunate I have a wingman. My husband's a pretty decent man. He's very supportive. I was all excited. I wanted to tell someone thank you. Oh, and then I ended up in the same room with them. Well, I couldn't. Nope, that's fine. My husband said, that's fine. There'll be other days and opportunities, and he's right. For some reason, he's an Aquarius. Man, that guy is steady and, like, unshakable. Like, he's really a port in a storm. So, very level-headed. It's a good thing. I am just rambling today. We're heading into Virgo. Sun is no longer in Leo. Yep. And then winter. It's all right, I got a couple months yet, like I said, so I don't know, I should probably stop talking. Maybe not. Maybe the whole point of this is to keep talking, right? keep chewing on every last thing until it's finally swallowed, I guess, you know? I'm not sure if I have anything else to say, so I'm gonna sit here and think for a second. I grew celery this year for the first time. I've never done that. It's working out. That's I really appreciate that about gardening. 'Cause boy, I mean, it just sometimes it works out, you know. Most of the time, like the seeds just know what to do, and the water and the sun and the just leave it. It's kind of nice. It's dependable that way, I think is what I'm trying to say. And that's kind of nice. I mean, there's failures, yeah, but I don't know. It's not like, you know, you lost all your retirement income or something. It's a tomato. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. I don't know, what do you get up to? Maybe it doesn't have to be gardening, you know. Well, no, it doesn't. My oldest got into rock climbing, and I'd love to try. I would. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm usually fearless to the point of recklessness, honestly. Um, I don't know, and that for him it brings catharsis, you know? It's hard work. Your body has to work for something. But I don't think people need to climb rocks or mountains in order to, you know, we can't all do that, right? But there's something out there. There's something. Maybe it's gardening, maybe it's walks, maybe it's hiking. I'm noticing my basil behind you is he dying? What is he doing? He'll be all right. Anyway, something. You know, people are always saying, get out in nature. This is enough, by the way, too. Like, outside your front door is enough. It's enough. Especially if you're having a hard time leaving. Move away from your screen as much as you can. Put your eyes out to the horizon. They don't, you know, when you're in on your screen or your computer, your eyes don't have to track, right? They don't have to move from left to right like you do with traditional print on a page, right? Where they move from left to right and up and down. And so when the words stay in one place and therefore your eyes are in one spot, you become hyper-focused, and it puts you in a state of fight or flight or freeze. You just become hyper anxious, and especially whatever the hell is scrolling through your screen isn't helping, probably. Not for me. It doesn't help. I am overly informed, and it does me no good. That's not true. The alternative is to stick my head in the sand, and I'm not built that way. So, can't do that. But I can come outside, look at some green. I think it's really good for us, human beings. You know, we've evolved over 10,000 years to recognize green spaces as shelter, food, more than likely water. It calms you down. Calms you down. We've got this Russian olive that we didn't plant. It's a invasive species that shows up when it wants to. and we tried to mow it down 3 times, and it's there now. So anyway, but the tree, the trunk of that tree, it will be 100 degrees outside, but if I go, you can put your hand on the trunk of that tree and it is easily 10, 20 degrees cooler. I'm telling you, like it will, like just being near it is cooler. It's interesting. I love it. Anyway, my point being, go outside. I mean, just outside. You don't have to go John Muir it in the mountains. I promise. It doesn't take all that. Try posting a video if you really want to. Those of you who are anxious or nervous or you don't know how to get started, just do it. Who cares? You're not doing it for other people. You're doing it for you. And that's the whole point. And you are enough, too, by the way. Whoever you are. Somebody out here wants to hear what you have to say. They want to see your place. They want to hear the sounds. They want to know what it is that you get to look at. You can share that. You know, or not. I get it's not for everybody, but it's remarkably helpful. I don't know why. I have no idea why. It gives me confidence. It makes me stronger in a weird way. And I am loath to admit that. I do not want technology and social media to be my answer at all. at all. I think it's the reason why we've all gone to pot. But I don't know, maybe there's just not enough of us, you know, like who gets the loudest is, you know, usually the worst. What is that? The squeaky wheel gets the grease? Is that what it is? Yeah, you should grease all the wheels before they end up squeaky. That's why they end up squeaky. There's some birds behind me. I can hear them nipping away at something. This, can you see this big guy, this big lilac bush behind me? I meant to prune it after it bloomed, and I didn't. And now I'm going to have to before winter. I mean, I don't have to, but it's massive. You know, I bought this thing like 15 years ago in a, like one of the, a gallon pot for $7.97 at Walmart, and it's huge, it's massive. And the HOA wants all shrubs to be only 4 feet tall because that's where the methers hide if we let them get too big. I promise you they're not hiding in my shrubs. There's no copper down there. I don't know what they're doing down there. I'm kidding. Anyway, so it's very tall. I need to trim it down. I should probably stop just rambling and get on with my day. Probably do something. So, yeah, hello. And welcome. And if you're here, I'm really glad you're here. And I want to see you again. I want you to come back around. Maybe you don't have to visit this channel, but you're gonna be there tomorrow. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna do it again. And so am I. You have a good day.